You know, when I woke up this morning to put the final touches on mine and Steven's Ollie Ollie World preview, link in the description by the way, I had a couple of things left to do on my daily bingo card. Make a coffee, write tomorrow's script, and Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard! Now, as you can probably tell from the tone I used for that last item there, it was a sentence and indeed a video topic that I didn't plan on making today. However, you're not dreaming, and like me, you're likely still reeling from the news about what this 60 billion plus publisher acquisition means for that faithful PlayStation sitting in your entertainment centre. Before we get into the topic proper and discuss it in depth though, one thing I will say is that for me, the news has literally just broken. As such, I'm going to do my best to make sense of all the info and sound bites that are currently floating around the internet. But just be sure not to judge me too harshly should I misinterpret something, because there's a lot going on right now. Understand? Are we all in agreement? Okay, let's get into it. So yes, as mentioned up top, today saw Phil Spencer take to Twitter to announce that Activision Blizzard will be soon welcomed into the Xbox first-party family. I mean, it's completely wild. The full quote reads, "As we extend the joy and community of gaming to everyone, we are incredibly excited to welcome the fantastic teams and iconic franchises of Activision Blizzard to Team Xbox. We're looking forward to working with our talented, dedicated friends across Activision Blizzard. As a company, we're committed to our journey for inclusion in every aspect of gaming among both employees and players. As we empower everyone to play, we can build the best, most engaging, most fun entertainment ecosystem anywhere on Earth and beyond. We can't wait to create a future together." So, in layman's terms, what Uncle Phil is saying is that Activision Blizzard will quickly be joining the likes of Bethesda as a full-fledged first-party development studio, rather than the independent third-party publisher it's been for decades now. This news comes soon after Spencer last week described how it had, quote, changed its relationship with Activision following all the sexual allegations levelled at the company's CEO, Bobby Kotick, late last year. And, well, wasn't that just the understatement of the century? I'll say. Interestingly, while we're touching upon Kotick's involvement briefly, the accompanying post on Xbox Newswire took time to note that he will, quote, continue to serve as CEO of Activision Blizzard, end quote, and will in fact not be outed once Xbox's purchase is complete. That said, it was also stated that Activision Blizzard as a business will be reporting to Phil Spencer, just so we're clear on what the new power structure will be when the acquisition is complete. So now the big question on everyone's minds, at least those firmly set within the PlayStation ecosystem, like me, is how will this affect Activision games on PlayStation going forward? What is the future of PlayStation 5 going to be? Well, luckily, we're not going to see anything drastic in the short term. That's the first thing to say. Right now, the likes of Call of Duty Warzone will continue to function fine and properly on PS4 and PS5. Crash Bandicoot 4 isn't going to suddenly be pulled from the PlayStation Network store, and believe it or not, the sun will indeed rise again tomorrow. This isn't to say that Xbox might choose to make certain Activision franchises, like, say, Diablo, to use an example, exclusive to their console eventually. However, for now it seems that not much will change, as evidenced by the following quote Spencer made also in the Newswire post. Quote, Activision Blizzard games are enjoyed on a variety of platforms, and we plan to continue to support those communities moving forward, end quote. So, as you can see, for now it looks like Activision titles will continue to be supported and released on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 where appropriate. As optimistic as we as PlayStation fans try to be though, you can bet that Xbox wants to get its money's worth out of the 60 billion it just spent to effectively absorb Activision Blizzard. So while certain franchises like Call of Duty and Overwatch might simply be too big and successful to take off PlayStation, I personally think you can expect to see some exclusive content given to Xbox later on down the line, and indeed the Xbox versions of those games are going to be prioritised. The internet right now is also in a tiz, just as a little side note, about how ironic it is that Xbox now technically owns the rights to Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. Two franchises that, of course, first began life on PlayStation, before being distributed elsewhere by Universal and then Activision. Again though, it wasn't all that long ago that Activision made it very public about how the teams behind Crash 4, the Insane trilogy and Spyro the Reignited trilogy were being effectively offloaded to work on Call of Duty. Should Activision have remained independent, it may have been decades until we saw Crash and Spyro return therefore. And now at least they stand somewhat of a better chance, be it on PlayStation or solely Xbox and PC. Finally, I want to sum up this video with some wider general thoughts from me. So I've given you as much of the facts as clearly as I can, with quotes directly from Spencer himself, that these are just my thoughts. There's definitely some cause for concern here, I feel, particularly in how Microsoft feels it can just shift its weight around and buy up studios left and right to help give them a quick leg up over the competition. Now, I admire Xbox as a platform for such innovations as Game Pass, which is quite literally probably the best deal in gaming, and even something like Xbox Live Gold back in the day, which obviously PlayStation eventually had to come out with a competitor for. But I can't shake this feeling that this success, this latest stuff, doesn't feel equally as earned. You see, whereas PlayStation took time to cultivate strong relationships with the likes of Bluepoint, Insomniac and Housemarque before buying them and making them first party, there's no sense, at least from the outside, that Activision, Blizzard and Xbox were equally as close. Heck, I'd say the same was true even with Bethesda. You can't say that Xbox had exceptionally amazing relationships with Activision and Bethesda when PlayStation has had the marketing rights for Call of Duty since PlayStation 4. And similarly, PlayStation had secured both Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, two Bethesda games, as PlayStation 5 exclusives well ahead of the Xbox acquisition. At the end of the day, none of this matters though, it's all just a case of money talks. Okay, and on one final note, I promise, I just wanted to reinforce how much competition breeds creativity, not just in industry in general, but doubly so within the video game space. Because while Xbox buying Activision is indeed a game changer, it does now put the pressure on PlayStation to try and bring its A game, both in continuing to fund and publish high-quality exclusives only available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 first, something like the Horizon series, God of War, and of course Uncharted, The Last of Us, whatever they've got cooking up next. They can also do this by remaining the true home of AAA Marvel games, so something like Marvel's Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 are being made exclusively by Insomniac for PlayStation systems, and lastly, by continuing to back new technologies like the one we'll soon see from PlayStation VR 2, hopefully later on this year. Anyway guys, that just about does it for a basic summary on what's just happened, what it could mean for PlayStation's future, and where we stand just as an ecosystem now that Activision Blizzard will soon be an Xbox first-party developer. What are your thoughts on the topic? I'm sure you'll have many. Be sure to let me know in the comments section below and we can have a real discussion about it. Then, when you've done that, be sure to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to the Push Square YouTube channel for everything else PlayStation related. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Time for a lie down.